All right. I have a disclaimer before I begin. That's going to be at the end of this video, so I'm going to do that separately. But this is your 7 grips and why you use them on the PCT, and this is basically in addition to all the other videos that you've seen. This is the part that I think is most confusing to most PCT hikers, especially if you're a beginner and you don't actually hold one of these in your hand for many weeks at a time. Let's see, this is going to be your self belay grip. This is your pick facing forward. That's your self belay grip. This is going to be your self arrest grip. Self arrest grip is pick facing backwards. So in your cane grip, your first of those, that's actually 1A and 1B, right? In your cane grip, this is your cane grip, and your cane grip, which is what you're going to be doing mostly on a hiking trail, is your cane grip. Your pick is going to go inside the snow. Your spike is going to go inside the snow, and then what you're going to be doing in your self-arrest grip while you're holding it in your cane grip is that you're going to dig your spike in the snow, and then you're going to take a step forward. And I'll tell you the details of which foot to start off with later. But for right now, this is your cane grip in self-arrest mode as opposed to cane grip in self-belay mode. Now, the reason why mountaineers are in self-belay mode most of the time is because they're actually ascending steeper and steeper terrain. And then basically as a PCT hiker, what you're doing is you're just getting ready so that you don't have to switch grips to get into self-arrest mode. So self-arrest is in this position. If you were in self-belay, like this position with your pick facing forward, you would have between here and here have to switch to get your pick forward. So that's the reason why PCT hikers generally are basically taught to always walk in a cane position with the self-arrest mode ready to go, not the self-belay mode, which requires a position shift as you're falling backwards, or as you're tripping or slipping or falling. So anyway, cane position. Your next position after that is going to be in self-belay mode. Self-belay mode, this is your low dagger. This is your low dagger, and this is like if you're going over a hump of something, you're gonna put your spike in the snow, and then you're going to stick your pick in the snow or in the ice, and that just adds a little bit more grip. Obviously, if the snow was a little bit more angled, this would mean something. So if I was higher up there, then this position would mean a little bit more. This is also why some ice axes, especially the longer ones, have a curvature in there, because as you can see, I'm going to stick my spike in the snow, and then I'm going to put my pick in the snow. Well, a curved blade will protect my knuckles from going into the ice. So if I'm going to do this for a long period of time, like a mountaineer ascending an entire mountain, then what I'm going to be doing with a straight blade is my knuckles are going to be wrapping into the snow or into the ice. Eventually these things are going to start bleeding. So that's the reason for a bent. And for the most part, a straight shaft will suffice for most of PCT hiking, because PCT hiking, you're going to be in a cane mode most of the times. All right, so that's the cane, that's the low dagger, this is the mid dagger or the push that I just showed you, and then you're going to have your ankh, and your ankh is in this position, and that's basically to hold you onto a rock or onto a surface which is rather steep, and you're just going to either do something with you don't have a harness, or you're climbing a rope or something, you don't have a rope, which are other reasons why some of these mountaineers kind of go, and PCT hikers kind of go, well, I don't need to do all that because I don't need a rope. So this is your ankh position or anchor position, and then this is your this is your high dagger. Basically the same purpose, but this makes it easier to ascend. This is a little less comfortable if I'm going to actually put weight onto my two digits here. So I'll do this if I'm going to ascend with a high dagger. And then I'm going to have a grip. This is my traction or my grip stance, where I'm actually climbing something so steep that I need to swing my ice axe, my pick, into the snow. So, and then the last one is handle. This is super important for PCT hikers. Sorry that I mentioned it last. And then the handle is, let's say I'm ascending up here, and then I'm going to switch grip. So I dig into the snow. I make sure that I'm in a stable stance, in a balanced stance. I'm going to shove this in as far as possible, and then once I shove it in as far as possible and I'm in a balanced stance, I'm going to grab both the handle, and both the adze and the pick, and then I'm going to switch hands. So if I'm going to switch positions, let's say I'm going to go from right-handed, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to grab the pick with my left hand, and now I'm ready to extend again. So I use the handle. I'm going to turn around that way so you can see. This is the handle. I use the handle as more of a very, very, very steady anchor when I'm when I'm switching hands. So that's important to know, so that any time I don't have to slip, because when I'm grabbing the handle, I'm not in a self-arrest stance. So that's the other thing, is when I'm reaching for the handle mode, I'm thinking which hand is going to be, which hand I need to use in order to get to self-arrest stance. All right, while I've got two ice axes, one is relatively almost too long, one's actually probably too short. One of the differences in lengths for an ice axe is I would rather err on a longer ice axe than a shorter ice axe, because when I'm self-arresting, I don't want this thing, because I'm going to be having trouble getting this in the ice at times. I don't want this thing to be in the spike to be close to my torso. I just don't need that kind of injury up on the mountain above where, you know, helicopters are usually hovering. So in any case, I am going to have error on a longer ice axe, get that further away from my torso, and I also have more torque, so that if I'm trying to turn around, trying to switch, remember how, let's say I'm falling forward and I want to reach out there and turn around, another different topic on how to fall, the 4 ways to fall, but I am going to have more leverage with a longer ice axe than with a shorter one. All right, this is going to start flailing around, and once I'm starting to fall, let's say backwards or whatever, the last thing I want is this thing flailing around with me. Now, I'm going to talk about leashes in a separate video. Sorry, I'm doing this all in one take. This is absolutely not professional. I just got finished and I'm tired of snowboarding, so there you go. My disclaimer is that this is all in one take, and this is in addition to all the other videos. This is stuff I haven't seen in all the other videos. I don't know why someone doesn't, but if someone wants to do a comprehensive why PCT ice axe skills are different than traditional mountaineer ice axe or ice tool skills, then here you go. Cheers.